Namaste, Jai Bharat. There's an expression in Sanskrit, Vinash Kale Viparit Buddhi. Vinash Kale Viparit Buddhi. That when your time is bad, you will have opposite thoughts, which will take you to your destabilization, distraction, etc., etc., etc. I'm talking about Turkey. This Turkey, I would like to call Turkey only. This Turkey really are supposed to be having good relations with Bharat right from ancient times, prior to their Islamization, obviously. But post Islamization, there ceased to be Turkians or Turkeys and supposed to be Muslims with the story of Khalifa, Ottoman, also stories. If they're so proud of Ottoman Empire, then you are not dealing with someone small. We have got the longest dynasty in the entire world, the Cholas. We have the most intelligent dynasty, the Vijayanagara. Then we have the greatest conqueror, Harsha. We have Chandragupta, who constructed the Shiva temple in Mecca. We have such great rulers, Hindu rulers. And you just can't compare Ottoman Empire with that if you're sensibly looking at history. But if you're selectively looking at history, then I can't help it. So Turkey shouldn't really think yourself so serious in comparison with Bharat. But Turkey, after Islamization, continued to have this irritation within at a wrong place in their structure, which continued. And even in 1971, Pakistan-Bharat conflict, Turkey was indirectly helping, etc. But then, there is something which you do not know about Bharat, that we have something which many people don't have, is patience and endurance. We didn't collapse that easily. We have great endurance. We have great patience. We can wait for many yugas for something to happen. We have a story of Ahalya, who waited through time for her moksha. Search it, you will find it somewhere, the story. This is the present is the time of internet, you might find it. So Turkey unnecessarily offended Bharat, and in Operation Sindoor, implicitly, not implicitly, actually explicitly helped Pakistanis by sending their drones, because the Turkeys think their drone is the ultimate thing in the cosmos, etc., etc. And now they had this habit of, they had, still desperately wanting to have, of treating the Mediterranean Sea as their property, ancestral property, which of course is wrong because it's an international place, international water it is. But then they have secretly constructed port where they are not they have no authority. So they have constructed unauthorized ports, created many secret ways in the Mediterranean, planted many electronic devices secretly in the Mediterranean with the sole objective of controlling and maintaining dominance over the Mediterranean with that kind of a pride of belonging to NATO. And then Bharat is a nation which has history of strategy. Chanakya is not from Turkey. Chanakya is not born in Europe, and Arthashastra is not written in Europe. It is written on this very land. How the nations should understand and act one another. How to treat an enemy, an opponent. All these things were discussed long before in our knowledge tradition, our history, which you do not know. So this land can produce wonders. This land can produce historically such personalities which you can't fathom, which you can't understand. That had been the character of this nation. That had been the history of this nation. So Turkey offended Bharat. Our navy was going for an exercise with Greece, Armenia, etc. Then they started showing off, get back, etc. And you know what happened, the results actually. The strategy of geopolitics, you don't teach us because we are Vishwaguru, really. We can teach you, but we should not. What happened is that we have got a Yug Purusha, Yug Purush as Prime Minister these days. That has to happen in Bharat. This is a land of avatars. Avatars would take any shape and come. Sri Ramji was also an avatar, and Bhagwan Sri Krishna also was an avatar. Look at the differences. That's for you to find out. So Turkey was playing. It was understood long before, known long before. We befriended. They're already friends. Our friendship with the nations surrounding Turkey, which already existed, we made it more strong. Greece, we have historical relations with Greece, which you can't deny. Real historical relations with Greek thinking, Greek philosophy. Look at their religion, Hellenism. Can't you see such striking similarities between the Hellenistic religion and the Sanatana Dharma? Look at the characters of the deities, both. You will find such striking similarities. And look at the philosophers, look at Plato, his Republic, and the Varnashrama Dharma of the Vedic society. If you look for that at Pythagoras' theorem, and he made such things, that kind of relation we had with Greece. So, being friendly to Greece is nothing new. We were always friendly with Greece. And there's a story of a Narada, not that Narada, the ancient Maharshi Narada, son of Brahma, not that Narada. There's another Acharya Narada, who, there's a reference, that who had gone to Greece and talked to Aristotle's time, and learned Aristotelian syllogism, which is 3 members. That's called as 3 member syllogism. Learned Aristotelian syllogism from Aristotle directly, and in turn taught Aristotle the Nyaya syllogism, which is 5-member syllogism, with interesting similarities, interesting differences, where Aristotle's conclusion is on the 3rd premise, whereas Nyaya syllogism begins with conclusion as 1st premise, and justification comes in the 5th premise. Anyway, that's a little technical, not meant for casual viewers. So, Greece, our friends, then Cyprus, then Armenia, surrounding Turkey. So, if Bharat wants, along with her friends, we would not let Turkey breathe. And Turkey was so confident and kind of bully, because they think they are members of NATO. So when our vessels went to the waters of Mediterranean, which is international, Turkey goes and tells a lie to NATO, saying that Bharat is attacking them. That's a lie. That's where the nations don't have characters. Nations don't have characters these days in geopolitics. They're characterless, many nations. So tells this lies to NATO, and in NATO, Bharat has got many friends. In fact, most of the NATO people are friends of Bharat. They at least would look at things objectivity. They have seen that Bharat has not violated anything. Bharat had not violated any international norms. So they were trying to stay away. Then America wanted to intervene, trying to be another apostle of peace, trying to intervene. But Then America also had to change strategy because of another strategy. No one is straight, no one is honest. So Turkey is surrounded. It's a long-term business. Turkey does mistake. Now Saudi does the same mistake. At the instance of Pakistan, Turkey has an inherent problem towards Hindus because they think they are the followers or the descendants of great Ottoman Empire. We can be descendant of many such empires. Turkey forgot that they are speaking of one empire and they are talking to a society or a place or a nation which has a series of empires, not just 1, 2, 3. We shall meet again. Namaste. Jai Bharat. Jai Sri Ram.